Welcome back to the deep dive. Imagine a new kind of colleague working alongside you, one who's constantly learning, adapts perfectly to what you need, and maybe most importantly, actually takes action to get things done. This isn't really science fiction anymore. It's the promise of AI agents. And they're quickly becoming central to how businesses run. So today we're doing a deep dive into smarter, faster, autonomous, how AI agents are transforming business based on our source material, our mission, to break down what these AI agents really are, how they work, their impact across different industries, and crucially, what you need to consider to use them responsibly. We'll pull out the key insights, maybe some surprising facts, and help you get a handle on this fast-moving field, without all the jargon. Okay, let's unpack this fascinating topic and see how these digital helpers are really starting a new level of change.
Yeah, what's really interesting here is that it's a step beyond AI, just like analyzing data or following simple commands. AI agents are different. They're actually built to act on their own to reach goals. Think of them as smart software bits that can sense what's going on, make decisions based on what they've learned, and then do things. The big difference is they remember information across different tasks, different situations. They build up knowledge. They don't just follow orders. They learn, they adapt. And this is key. They can use one or even several AI models. And they figure out when to use your internal systems or outside platforms for you. That allows for real autonomy with pretty minimal human checking in. That's the game changer.
Right, that ability to act independently based on learning, that makes them incredibly powerful. Our source actually gives a great example. A big company, consumer goods, used an AI agent to totally rethink its global marketing. Get this. What used to take a team of 6 analysts a whole week digging through data, writing reports now involves just one person working with the agent, and they get better results in less than an hour. That's not just a small improvement, it's a massive leap. Let's break down how that agent worked, because it shows the cycle perfectly. First, the agent proactively collects information. It automatically gathers marketing data from all over. Every week, it knows what data it needs. Second, it figures out the meaning. It analyzes all that data to see how campaigns are doing compared to goals.
And a human can still step in here, right? Add some business context the agent might miss.
Exactly. Then third, based on that analysis, it suggests improvements. It generates ideas to make campaigns better, puts them in standard reports. Again, a human reviews and tweaks these ideas.
Okay, makes sense.
And finally, once it gets the green light, the agent makes the changes. It actually goes into the ad buying platforms and implements the recommendations itself. This whole thing, which was super manual, is now mostly automated. We're talking huge changes in productivity and cost.
Exactly. And this kind of autonomy works because of, let's call it the agent's core parts, 3 things working together. First, there's memory. And this isn't just file storage. It's like dynamic recall. It lets the agent remember info, not just for the current task, but from past experiences, changing situations. So it genuinely learns over time. It gets smarter.
Okay, so it builds expertise.
Right. Second, AI models. These are the brains, the reasoning part. Sophisticated algorithms, often those large language models, LLMs.
Those advanced AIs trained on tons of data.
Yeah, exactly. They help the agent break down problems, make plans, decide on steps. They're the thinking engine. And third, systems. This is how the agent connects to the real world, or rather, your digital world, how it accesses internal tools, databases, external platforms, how it pulls info and triggers actions in your tech setup. It's really the combination of remembering, planning, and connecting that gives them that powerful independence.
That really clarifies the building blocks. So based on those core parts, how does this actually look day to day? How do they work in that continuous loop you mentioned?
Good question, because that continuous cycle is what makes them so powerful. They run on a constant loop. Observe, plan, act. In the observe phase, they're always taking in new info, user interactions, performance numbers, maybe sensor data, depends on the job. And crucially, they're not just collecting data points. They're pulling in past interactions, what they've learned before. That gives context for bigger projects. They build a real understanding. Then comes the plan stage. With all that context, they use those powerful AI models, the LLMs, to weigh the options and figure out the best action. It's not simple. It's complex decision-making based on the problem, the goals, what's happening now, and everything it remembers. They're essentially strategizing.
Okay, so they observe, they make a smart plan, then they act. What does that act phase actually involve? Well, in the act phase, they use those connections to company systems, tools, data, everything they need to do the tasks they plan. This could be, a huge range of things. Tapping into HR systems, order management, CRMs, customer relationship tools.
Right.
Or they might hand off parts of a task to other AI agents or even ping a human if they need clarification. And what's really smart here is they aren't just blindly following steps. The source says they can spot errors in what they're doing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, trying to fix them on their own and learn from the whole process through internal checks. So what's the bottom line for you, the listener? It means these agents get better over time. They're constantly learning how to be more efficient, more effective. That makes them increasingly valuable.
And because they have this potential for autonomous action and learning, it's so important we deploy them responsibly. The source lays out some really critical best practices for anyone thinking about using these tools. Trust and effective integration depend on this. First up, control and compliance. This is absolutely fundamental. Even as they get more independent, especially in areas like customer service or finance, they have to follow clear ethical rules, regulations, company standards. It's about trust, not just avoiding fines.
Absolutely. And anywhere you're dealing with sensitive data or building software, data privacy and security are, well, they have to be top priority. The source really stresses strong security things like encryption for data moving around and data just sitting there, plus tight access controls. That goes for the data the agents use and the AI models themselves. Super important for customer info, company secrets, keeping systems safe. A slip up here could be disastrous.
Definitely. Another key point is keep humans in the loop. Even with all this autonomy, human involvement is still vital. That means getting feedback from users to make the agents better and regularly monitoring their performance. And not just, did it do the task, but checking the quality of the work, how good its decisions are, its overall impact. Catch problems early.
Right. And people won't trust what they don't understand. That brings us to transparency and explainability. AI agents need to operate in a way we can grasp. You should be able to understand why it made a certain decision, not just see the result. That's key for building confidence, ensuring they're doing what they're supposed to, that they align with company goals. Think clear documentation, maybe ways to see the agent's thinking.
And looking ahead strategically, scalability and flexibility matter a lot. You want AI solutions that can grow with your needs, adapt as things change. Can it integrate with new tools, new processes? As the company evolves, the AI needs to evolve too. That protects your investment.
And underpinning all of this, the big one, always put ethics first. The source really hammers this home. AI systems have to be designed and used ethically, respect people, avoid bias, contribute positively. Setting up ethical guidelines isn't a one-off task. It's an ongoing commitment you have to keep reviewing. Which raises a big question for all of us, really. How do we make sure these powerful tools are used for good and stay aligned with our values? It's pretty clear the benefits are real. AI agents are being adopted globally, and early users are seeing, frankly, amazing results. Marketing, customer service, R&D, even internal IT. And what's striking isn't just that they're improving things, it's the scale of the improvement. These are huge leaps in efficiency, massive cost savings. It's changing how things get done. Let's look at some concrete numbers from the source. In marketing, that consumer goods company using AI for blog posts.
Yeah, the one that went from weeks to a day.
Exactly. Result, 95% cost reduction, 50 times faster, 4 weeks down to 1 day to publish. That's incredible speed. In customer service, a big global bank used AI virtual agents. Cut costs tenfold. Think about freeing up human agents for the tougher stuff.
Oh, tenfold.
In R&D, biopharma is using AI agents for drug discovery-led generation. They're seeing 25% faster research, 35% faster clinical study reports. That could seriously speed up getting new medicines out there.
That has huge implications.
And even in data and technology, an IT team used AI agents to modernize old systems, usually a massive headache, and boosted productivity up to 40%. These aren't small tweaks, they're fundamental shifts.
Yeah, these examples really drive home the trend. AI agents are becoming, well, baked into more and more business applications, and that growth isn't slowing down. In fact, analysts are predicting the AI agent market will grow at something like a 45% compound annual growth rate, CAGR, over the next 5 years.
45% compounded.
Compounded. That means it's growing on top of its previous growth each year. It's a very strong signal about where things are headed.
That kind of growth, nearly doubling every other year, tells you a lot about the potential people see in these autonomous agents changing how we work. It feels less like a passing fad and more like, well, AI agents are becoming a really fundamental piece of the future of business across pretty much every sector. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, it's really clear AI agents aren't just clever software. They're powerful, autonomous digital partners, changing business because they can observe, plan, and act for us. Their power comes from that mix of memory, smart AI models like LLMs, and being plugged into our existing systems.
hmm And as we saw with the examples, that combination is driving huge gains in efficiency, cutting costs, and honestly changing what's possible for human workers, from marketing to R&D. But like we stressed, that power means we have to be careful, deploy them thoughtfully, always focus on control, security, keeping humans involved, being transparent, and making sure they can scale. And above all, ethics has to be front and center, always.
Absolutely. So as you think about this transformative power and the growing role of AI agents, here's a final thought. If you could design a tireless learning AI colleague just for your most repetitive task, or your most data-heavy one, or maybe even a strategic one, what would it be? And how would those best practices, those ethical guidelines we talked about, shape how you deploy it responsibly and effectively in your world? Hopefully this deep dive gave you some insights and maybe sparked some new ideas about how this tech is going to shape all our professional lives.